What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Steph, growing in Zone 6B. If you are here for the first time, welcome for the first time. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I thought I would pop on and do my first garden tour. I have been watching other people's beautiful garden tours, and in Ohio, the weather is very finicky. The temperatures are up and down. We don't know, what we're going to get. So my garden is really just getting started. So I will walk you guys through my space and show you guys what I have. Now, one thing I will say about my yard, I grow in a small space. I have a small space garden, and in that space I try to be very intentional on where I put things, how I grow things and so forth. Another thing that you guys will see is I'm trying kind of a bunch of different methods of growing this year. So for example, if I'm growing potatoes, I'll grow potatoes, in the ground, in grow bags, just to see kind of, what's working best. Just doing a little bit of experimenting and yeah, seeing how it goes. So I'll turn my camera around. I'll first give you guys kind of an aerial view of what my space looks like. Not everything is all the way cleaned up, but it is a beautiful and chaotic space, and I will show you guys what I have. So this is kind of an aerial view. I'll show you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. So as you can see, over there is my mulch pile. You can see through the fence. I'm standing on my deck now, if you can imagine, and this is my entire space of what it looks like. So since I am on the deck, I will show you guys that first. So first of all, in these planters, I like to have lots of beauty. So I have some marigolds that I started from seed here. These are Dollar Tree strawberries that I started from seed. They never got any larger than this. They are delicious and they ripen really quickly and they pack a punch. They are a bushing variety, not a vining variety. But they just never grew any larger than that. But I enjoy the flowers, and so I keep them around. As you can see, they're coming in tiny like that. If I pop over here, I have my container garden, or what I call my deck garden. I have a marigold. It's just starting to form there. Y'all see that right there? That flower will be there soon. This is my 3 or 4 year old thyme. It flowers every year, and I let it because it's really pretty. The flowers don't impact the taste of the thyme. I still use it, and I tucked in another very small strawberry right here in the back. In this container, I have some zinnias here, some zinnias, 3 zinnias. If you look real close down in there, flowers are coming. And this one will have multiple heads and some deal. More container variety thyme. This thyme here is not a container variety, but this one is. I started this one from seed this year, and if you have had a hard time growing thyme, I would recommend to give this one a try. It seems to germinate really well, much quicker. Thyme is extremely cold hardy. It stays out here all year long, but this plant is doing very well, and I haven't had any issues with it. Now you'll see this red lettuce. I discovered this red leaf lettuce or bib lettuce last season. It can go all summer long, and it will not bolt on me. Sometimes it'll get, excuse me y'all, something flew up my nose. Sometimes it'll get a little discolored, but it won't actually bolt in my area. Well, at least it hasn't for me. And so I'm really enjoying having this bib lettuce. I have it here. I have harvested several times off of this lettuce, and it will be a staple. If you are interested in the variety of this lettuce, just let me know. It also doesn't attract a lot of pests, not a lot of diseases, none of that. So again, I have it over there, along with some pan Isles lettuce. And this pan Isles lettuce, it looks like maybe a romaine type lettuce, and it is also very hardy. And another thing about this lettuce is that it holds a shape when you put the salad dressing on it. So, oh, and I have some dinosaur kale here that looks like it's getting eaten up by some kind of bugs, but I don't see any bugs on it, but I see these holes, which is an indication of some kind of bugs. So, there's one bug right there. Look like a little cocoon. Maybe that'll turn into a butterfly. Who knows? So, this is my lettuce stand. It is 3-tiered. I have lettuce here. This hasn't bolted. See how this is bolted already? But then this one has not. That's what I mean by, lettuce. Pick that off. That's what I mean by different variety lettuce. You have to see what's kind of good for your area. And even down here, this kale isn't doing much for whatever reason. I think it might be stunted. More red lettuce here that I'll be able to harvest. Y'all will see me picking out weeds and stuff as I go along. Kale and lettuce, blue curly kale and lettuce there, and some valerian root right there. So that's what that kind of looks like. I'm gonna pull these out and I'm gonna grow something else in there. Not sure what yet. Now, I've started some peppers from seed, but these ones I didn't. I tucked these in here. I got these yellow, orange, and red bell peppers. This one is already starting to flower. This is a large pot. This is like a 3-gallon. So I tucked these bell peppers in here, and I got 2 broccoli plants, one right here and one right here. And then if we come around, let me walk y'all around. Come with me. This is my overflow of plants. Some of these I have to plant out. Oh, look at the sun is coming out. And some of them I might give away. This rosemary is getting attacked by something, so I'm gonna cut it back and let it bush out. I started that from seed. Rosemary oil is very, very good for the hair. I have long dreadlocks, or some people just call them locks, and they're very good for that. This is a raspberry bush. They got attacked by something that I am propagating for planting. Purple tree collards that got chewed down, that's growing back. Some strawberries. Blueberry bush here that I'm going to plant. Another blueberry bush there. And some tomatoes that I really need to get planted. And some other things here. All of this stuff needs to be planted. Zinnias. All of this needs to be planted. And I'll probably get to that sometime today. So, if we walk out to my space, don't mind the junk over there. I got some bags of mulch over there. I use the chip drop service and they bring me lots of mulch. Animal cage over there. Don't worry about the mess. Just roll with me. Here is my dwarf variety blueberry bush. It got knocked way back. And did not, I don't think it's going to produce anymore. It has one little tiny blueberry on it. It had a ton, but they all fell off because the weather got so finicky. And so when that happened, they just got knocked back. And you know, but this container variety blueberry, this is actually a patio variety. And so if you have a small space, this variety is good for like a deck or a porch. I think I got it from Stark Brothers. Most I get from Stark Brothers. I have an elderberry here that I haven't done anything yet. This is new this year. And this is a red raspberry bush I just put in. I need to dust. Y'all see down here? My raspberry bushes look like that every year. Probably some kind of beetle. It's fine. But this was a bare root raspberry, red raspberry. And I knocked this one off yesterday by accident. And I'm hoping by just sticking it in the dirt it's going to survive with that fruit on it. But I doubt it. Tucked in some coleus. And then my raspberry bush right here. This is clearly not a dwarf variety. But look at all of these raspberries. I mean, this bush is loaded. I just got this last year. I got this bush last year from Home Depot on clearance, 50% off. Cost me like $8. And I mean, this thing, literally, I probably have like 50, I don't know, 75 raspberries all over. Just raspberries everywhere. Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. So we are going to eat good. We're going to eat good, y'all. That's my raspberry bush. So the way that I structured my garden, put most of my bushes on the outside and then everything else on the inside. My Dollar Tree stackable planters, haven't done anything with that one yet, but I'll probably put the zinnias I have up there and some other things in that, but I haven't gotten to it yet. This is more lettuce and tatsoi. Some mustard greens right there. Tatsoi all the way around is tatsoi. And I think this is a sunflower. I believe this is a sunflower, which I'm thrilled about. Down here I have some calendula and wildflowers and some carrots tucked in. Sweet pea. This is sweet pea flowers, but they got chewed back, but they're coming back now. My pansies that I started from seed. And if you see this powder anywhere, this is cayenne pepper. That's my coleus, and it's doing just fine. Here I have feverfew here and chamomile. I think it's stunted. It hasn't done anything, but it's not dying, so I'm gonna leave it. It may come next year. And some chamomile, feverfew, and lemongrass here. And over here, I have ground cherries. These beautiful pansies, which I grew from seed. Ground cherry I grew from seed. More pansies, coleus, and this is some kind of bulbing flower, and it hasn't flowered yet, but I think it gives it some interest, so I'm gonna leave it. And I put some lettuce there. Okay, now stepping into the garden, I planted this peach tree this year. This is not a dwarf variety, but if you look at the center, it was already cut down like this, and so that's why I chose this particular one, because I don't really have space for a full-size tree, and I know that this will grow out, but I'm gonna leave it pruned so that it will grow bushier instead of tall. Over here I have my strawberry patch. These are June bearing. There's strawberries in here. That's what they look like. I gotta pick these strawberries. I've gotten like 3 pounds of strawberries, but it is time to pick them. These are kind of fizzling off. They're coming to an end, but I have enjoyed them, and I'm okay with them being June bearing because I can get a lot at once, and then I don't have to process strawberries all summer. I mostly use strawberries for preserves and smoothies and stuff. And so I'm okay with having crops come at different times of the season because I don't want to get overwhelmed preserving. This is black raspberry bush that I put in. It is already fruiting. I put this in this year, and I tucked in some red Russian kale at the bottom, all the way around, right there. Now this got chewed back, probably by slugs. I had to put some slug bait in there. You can probably see it, and so that should recover. I got some echinacea here, and my Timu planter where I put strawberries in, but they all died. I have a house hardy almond tree here. It will probably go in the ground here. And this little stick right here is another elderberry bush, which, you know, they're not dead. I did the scratch test on them, but they just haven't bushed out yet. And then my sage, my 3-year-old sage, is growing out, leafing out. I trimmed it back. It flowered this year. It was beautiful. And of course, some more chamomile back here, and some lettuce that didn't do anything. That is my not compost, that's my big mound of wood chips. And this trellis here will be hardy kiwi. Here go one right here. The rest hasn't come up yet, but I have 3 of those. For hardy kiwi, you have to have a male and a female. And so if you don't, and I got a bucket of fertilizer over there that probably got mosquitoes in it. For hardy kiwi, you need a male and a female. If you don't have a male and a female, they will not pollinate and grow. So just a tidbit on that. But look at my my blackberries. They are starting to turn. I really need to cover this bush with some netting, because I'm going to be ticked off if I don't get my blackberries. Here's more coming in right here. And look how beautiful. Y'all, I am having an amazing fruit. Can we just admire for a minute? I'm having an amazing fruit bush season. More coming in there. That is what the flowers look like. All of these blackberries up here, over there. I mean, they just coming, y'all. They just coming in for me. All of those blackberries. Now this right here is a hot mess. This bed is overgrown. I need to get these weeds out of here. I haven't had a chance yet, y'all. And there's like debris in here and stuff. This is actually a dwarf cherry tree. It's not dead either. It still has some give to it. It also got knocked back from when the frost hit it. It started to come alive and then got knocked back. So I'm gonna leave it. Hopefully it'll do something next season. It ain't doing nothing this season. This is a larger blueberry bush. So you see the difference between how large this blueberry bush is and the one that I showed you. This one is not a container variety. This is a full size. But you see all these little buds? I had blueberries coming, and I don't think they're gonna do anything because the frost knocked this bush back. You can see some greenery here, and I could be wrong. Maybe that's how they grow. But if I can get this camera to focus, you can see some greenery here. So they're starting to come back. I don't know if I'll get anything on this year, but if I don't, that's okay. Next year. And then I put in this semi-dwarf cherry tree. This is what kind of cherry? Pie cherry. This is a pie cherry tree. It's leafing out. Yellow raspberry. I'll only get a few on this year. Which you can see one is starting to ripen. Once it turns kind of orange, I'll pluck it off. And this is another blackberry, which got knocked back by the frost. But it's not dead, so I know it will be back next season. Now, if we enter into this garden, you'll see my strawberry plants continue. But on this side, I have this bed. I added this grapevine. This is a Concord grapevine here, which does have a few clusters of grapes on it somewhere, if I can find them. And they might have got knocked off. Well, at least it did have some grapevine. Oh, there go a few. It has some grapevines on it. We'll see if it actually gets anything. I'm not really expecting much because it's a brand new bush. I got to get in here and get this bed under control. It's kind of wild, but I have some tatsoi here with some cayenne pepper on it. And over here are some tomatoes, which you'll see in the middle in a minute. Oh, right here too, some grapes. You'll see in a minute that these tomatoes are bushing out, which I can't say that I knew they were a bushing variety, but that's how they're growing. And they are doing, you'll see in a minute that these tomatoes are doing better than the ones in my main tomato bed. For whatever reason, I think the soil is kind of jacked up over there. But I'm getting some tomatoes and over there. And of course, I tucked in some some onions and some tatsoi that got kind of beat up, but I put down some slug bait so they should recover. Now, this is my tomato bed. It's slowly starting to bounce back. This tomato bed was on struggle mode for a minute, and I'm going to top dress it with some compost. But only thing I did was put some marigolds here. Now, I don't know if they help or not, but they're medicinal. You can see them. I ain't going to take this netting off. I'm already having animal problems. But this is an onion from last season that I need to pull out. Or I might just let it, you know what? I'm going to let it seed. I was going to pull it out. But look how fat it's getting down here. It's a red onion. That's catnip right here. And I know catnip spreads like mint. I don't care, y'all. Whatever. Well, I don't care now. I might care next year. Don't quote me on that. And I have some sweet peppers I done tucked in right there. Things are starting to establish, but this bed was looking kind of rough. And you know what I think it is? I think that is this new compost I used. And so I had to keep an eye on that. But anywho, I got 16 peppers in this bed and marigolds. And so I might have 17. And, you know, that's what I did. I just put them in here. They starting to flower out. Finally starting to do something. Give it a little shake. I had a sunflower right there that got chewed down. And then if I take you around the other side, I'll get to that in a minute. You'll see the other sunflower is right there. I'm going to stake it up though because it ain't dead. It may bounce back. So finally, these beds are doing something. Telling you, these tomatoes weren't doing nothing. So this is just marigolds, tomatoes, and a few herbs. This is holy basil. We'll see what it does. I put 3 of them in here. I don't know if it'll do anything, but I'm gonna drop some wildflowers in here. Oh, and some volunteer bachelor buttons. I was excited for that. So right here is my Meyer lemon. I got one little bitty lemon right there. This Meyer lemon hasn't done anything in 3 years, but it looks pretty. Actually, I might put this, I think I'm gonna put this Meyer lemon on my deck. It looks pretty this year though. I put it in a greenhouse. I purchased my greenhouse a year ago. This is my first full season with it, and I think that it made a huge difference. So I might be in the citrus game in Ohio. We'll see. If y'all see Broke Farmer, ask him. I don't know. You know, he the king of fruit trees, if you ask me. And some strawberries that seeded themselves, which is one little one right here that I gotta get out. So this bed right here that looks kind of a mess, but I had to do what I had to do to cover it. These are all my sweet potatoes. This is my sweet potato bed, and a potato that seeded itself in the back that looks humongous. Look at this thing, y'all. I don't even remember tucking any potatoes back there, but I must have. So, you know, such is life, and I appreciate it. Now, I woke up this morning to all of this dirt all over the ground. Something went digging in these beds and pulled out all of my potatoes, which I was kind of ticked off about, and dumped them all out and bit a hole in one. Probably a raccoon. I'm gonna have to cover, but all of these is potatoes, sweet potatoes. And see how this one is rooted out? See, I'm gonna have to put some dirt around it like that, but that's all right. I'll fix that issue. Like, even with this, you see this piece of potato, I'm gonna stick it back in there. It may do something. So that happened to this bed, these 3 grow bags, last night, and I gotta figure out what did it. So I'll set a trap. Thought something was getting ready to get me. I'll set a trap, and then I'll go ahead and cover. They must get mad because I covered my stuff, but I don't care. I got something for them. My 3-year-old oregano bush, absolutely beautiful. You know what? I could put this bush in my front yard. To be perfectly honest, if I ever get another house, y'all, I'm telling you, I'm gonna have me an edible landscape. I'm telling you, I'm slowly starting it now. I keep easing stuff further and further in the front, y'all. I'm telling you. And then, I popped in this honeydew right here, some onions over here, bunch of onions, and here's some more of that thyme over here, which I'll let it do its thing. Oh, and a little bit of catnip that they didn't get. Now, here is all of my potatoes in this 100-gallon root pouch. This 100-gallon root pouch was a mess because I put the clay soil in here and I just kind of dumped it in there and I didn't really pay it any attention. They starting to flower, see? So I know I'm going to have tubers. And I threw in some beans right there. It's another bean on the other side over there, but it didn't come up yet. And a bush bean right here. So all of these potatoes will do their thing. They are growing nicely. I top dressed them with compost. If you haven't seen my compost video, go back and watch it. It doesn't take much to make compost. It just takes a little bit of effort and just get it done. Just throw your scraps in there and it'll do its thing. Now, this is my 3-year-old. Look at the stalk on this baby. Semi-dwarf apple tree. It has some apples on it, but they fell off. But that's okay. I think that gives me hope for what's to come next season. This apple tree is very healthy. It has a little bit of, I pay attention to this, rust right there on the leaf. And I might spray that with some peroxide. But just to give you an idea of how tall a semi-dwarf tree gets, this is probably about 6 feet. I won't let it get any taller than that. Let's just take a look. Got some compost, y'all. Look at all them little sprouts too. I wonder what that is. I don't know. Who knows? Probably grapevines, because I make wine. But anyway, continuing on. I got some peppers here. Bush variety. Cucumbers in the back. Cayenne peppers here. Some bush beans here. Right there. something was digging in this bed as well. And I got some watermelons, marigolds, one little bitty onion there, marigold, watermelon, marigold, and bush variety cucumber. So I'll probably add some extra protection to this bed as well. Now, y'all keep going with me. Here's some of my garlic. Some of it I took out already. And you can see these garlic bulbs popping out like that. So I know they're going to be a nice size. I've actually never seen my garlic do that before. But look. They popping out. So I'm waiting on that to die back a little bit. And then I'll take it out. And then I don't have anything in this bed. But I'm going to plant something. And just a few onions that I tucked in. Some mint I tucked in yesterday. And one celery plant that if I don't cover it's going to be gone. And back here in the corner, I have another apple tree right there, which also has some red rust spots on it. I'll go ahead and treat those with some peroxide or some baking soda. And I got some dill, volunteer dill, and my cabbages that are heading up. Again, if you see this white or yellow looking powder, that is my cayenne pepper. I even have what I think some dill back there. And so I'm going to let it do its thing. I need to clear this bed out though. It's getting weedy too. This pear tree ain't doing nothing. But it's getting ready to go in the ground. Once these cabbages are done, I'm going to pull this stuff out. This pear tree is going to go in the ground. It does not like to be in this container. It's not dead, but it's not leafing out either. It only has a few little leaves right there. It just doesn't like it back here. So that's what I'm going to do with that. Got some brassicas in here. That died off. But I got some red acre cabbage in here. A couple of red acres. Some broccoli and some collards in here that are finally growing fine. I got this covered from the animals, but I had to put some cayenne pepper on it. I don't like the look of it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I ain't did nothing with this area yet. This is more of the wood chips, some carrots. This is more potatoes, and I went ahead and tucked in another watermelon and a squash plant right here, which I don't have high hopes for. If I usually see a squash plant right here doing this, I'll normally go ahead and throw in another squash, because squash plants, they'll get stunted. Like I grew this one from seed in the house, but squash grows so fast, or zucchini, that I don't got time to be figuring out whether it's gonna do something. It don't do nothing. It's got all these little flowers on it. We'll see what it does. If it does something, fine. If it doesn't, you know what? I'm gonna pop another seed right here, and if it catch up, I might pull that out. More echinacea. Some carrots. And then in this bed, it's mostly onions. I don't know if y'all can see. I don't feel like taking this off, so I won't. Add some crabgrass that I gotta do something with. But this bed is mostly onions. Some greens that looks like got some slug damage. These are Georgia collards. And onions. And a few other things, like that's a kohlrabi. But these are mostly Georgia collards. But and then over here, I believe, let me see what this is. I don't know what this is, but I'm glad for this. Oh, that's a broccoli plant right here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 broccoli plants, and the rest is onions. I got to get this crabgrass out of here. Next season, what I'm gonna do is recover this bed with cardboard and do something about this weed. This is the worst bed for weeding. I have to constantly weed it, and the weeds just keep growing back and growing back and growing back. So got to do something about that. Here's some carrots that got chewed down. That's fine. They'll grow back. If not, what I'm planning on doing, since I want lots of broccoli and cauliflower and cabbages and whatnot, that's all I'm gonna be probably growing in the fall, and maybe another row of green beans. This bed got a couple of things in it, but it's not really doing well. Some lettuce that bolted, some mustard greens, which I'll probably leave, maybe. And I tucked in a few sweet peas in the back right here that are starting to grow up this trellis. So, I mean up this fence. So I'll leave those to do their thing. I know this video is long, y'all. And then here's my last bed, which, you know, I was thinking I put these tomatoes in here, and they may leave them, but I was looking for a place to put corn, and I could really pull this stuff out. Like, this ain't doing nothing. And I can tuck zucchini somewhere else. And I put these few little peppers in here. But you know what? I really would like to do some corn in this bed. I put some pole beans in the back, but they didn't do nothing. Right here. Well, they haven't come up yet. I won't say they didn't do nothing. They haven't come up yet. So, since that's the case, shoot, I might go ahead and like transplant this stuff somewhere else and put my corn. I didn't even think about that. You know what? Thanks, y'all. I know y'all gave me that idea. I have some peas here. I started these peas in the greenhouse. I'm super excited. This is the first for me. I have never been successful growing peas. Of course, they're starting to die off at the bottom, but that's okay. I'm excited to get what I'm gonna get anyway, because I've never had peas before. So how exciting is that, y'all? Let me see. Y'all think I can trellis that on this fence? No, I better leave it alone. But anywho, see my peas? They growing. I got a grapevine here. That's green grapes. Only have one little cluster of grapes here, but that's okay. That's the start of something. I'll get some next year. And then I popped in some potatoes here. Potatoes that are coming up right there, right here. So this whole half of the bed is potatoes. I'm gonna take out this stinging nettle, some of it, and I might put them peppers over here, and then I can use that bed over there for corn. Yeah, that's what I think I'm gonna do. Pretty sure that's what I'm gonna do. Got some tomatoes growing. Popped in some tomatoes in this bed. A few sunflowers right there. More tomatoes. An eggplant that ain't doing nothing, that's probably gonna get ripped out. Few watermelons over there. Tomato, a pepper, sweet pepper over there. That's a purple beauty. And I got a little pepper right there in the corner and one right here. My tag fell off, purple beauty. But stuff that's not surviving. And then, I got some carrots in here too. Right there. Some few little carrots that I tucked in here like that. So, you know, that's it. This was a long video. I know, y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging in with me. But this is what I'll say. You know, as I walk through my garden and I look at stuff The things that isn't growing well, close this fence. Already got a problem. The things that is stunted, not growing well, not doing well, listen, don't even waste your time, y'all. Pull that stuff out. Like all of this stuff, y'all see this? Y'all see this lettuce? I can have something else growing right there. Like, I'm not gonna cut these flowers off like that. I ain't trying to waste no time. I have a small space. I don't want to put energy and you know, time into something that's just not gonna grow. And by the time you do all of that, you could have been and stuck something else or replanted the thing and, you know, have it going on some other kind of way. That's all I'm saying. So I'm gonna go ahead and rip out the things that ain't working. That eggplant, it ain't working. That zucchini don't look like it's working. And I'm gonna go ahead and plant some new zucchini seeds. Something that's gonna be healthy, plant that's gonna grow and prosper. We still got time, y'all. All right, that's gonna do it. I didn't ramble on long enough. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. If you like my video, please like, share, and subscribe. You know, if you so inclined. And I'll see you guys on the next video. All right, y'all, take care and enjoy your weekend. Get out there and get planting. It finally isn't raining in Ohio, although I did appreciate it. And bye for now.